And hello everybody, welcome to the Gander Shootout, the first ever Gander Shootout we've had here in the Gander Round National Series history. DASCAR Gander Round National Series, that is. Welcome to the inaugural event, or we're about a few seconds away from getting ready to fire the engines for all of our pole sitters from Season 1.
Start your engines!
There's the command to fire the engine. Fun fact for you, only 3 drivers completing full-time in Season 2 are in this event. Everybody else is a one-race deal. Our pole sitter for today's event is the 11 of Betty Johnson. That car won the pole and won the race at Talladega. Alongside her is the 13, that is Topanga Wilson, another female, who won the pole at Texas. So let's look at your starting grid to the left of your screen. Alex Hawkins 3rd, Kev Shearer 4th, Troy Kang 5th, Joshua Blackheart 6th, Rudolph Bashi 7th, Captain Marbles 8th, Ian Dudder 9th, Luis Hernandez 10th, Zachary Fitzwater 11th, Don Updike 12th, Anthony Ricky 13th, Austin Wilson 14th, Andy Appleman 15th, James Quall 16th, and Haruka Takara will start 17th. Of those 17 drivers, only the following drivers are full-time in this season. Alex Hawkins, who's driving the 4 Oreo car. Joshua Blackheart is driving that number 8 Taco Bell car, starting 6th today. And then Donovan Updike, who I believe is well back in the field of today's race. Yeah, he'll be starting, I believe, 10th in the event. Well, folks, this should be a fun one to watch today, as we are going to race 16 laps here at the high banks of Daytona, getting prepped for the 30-lap event coming up here. That's the Driver COD 300, which will be coming your way soon. 3 of our drivers will be getting prepped for that, while others are going for the win. Extra track time for some, a chance to win and come back here every year to do this event over and over again for the 14 others. This should be a fun one to watch, folks. All the 14 one-race deals is very insane for a track like Daytona. But at Daytona, anything can happen, and that anything is what we're expecting today. Pace car hits the pit road. 2 one-race deal drivers, Amy Appleman and Topanga Wilson on the front row. Green flag is waving. The first ever Gander Shootout is green. Nice jump for the 11 of Appleman there. Appleman now going to try to see what she can do high, but it doesn't look like she'll make any moves just yet. Another rule which will debut in tonight's race: cautions will be as part of the Gander Mountain National Series starting this season. Cautions play a big role in a factor of the race. It will cause the race, it will allow restarts, it will allow people to pit better, it will cause a lot of things, but cautions will return this season. Amy Appleman running great so far in this lap, as she's about to complete lap number 1 in that number 11 Incredible Pizza Camry. Behind her, one of our 3 full-time drivers competing in today's race, that's Alex Hawkins in the Oreo Ritz number 4. Seeing what Hawkins can do here, as Hawkins looks to make a move, as there are 3 cars single file, it looks like right now, that are really working as a pack. The 11, the 4, and then the 42 of Troy Kang, who earned his spot in this race by winning the pole back at Kentucky. He ended up winning that race from the pole. That was one of his 2 races that he won last year, along with winning the race at San Joltas. Now Troy Kang going to look inside, looking for some help from the 18 of Yu Akabayashi, but instead the 11 will go down, which will shuffle the 4 out of the mix. The 42 riding the bumper of the 11 really hard right now. Now the 21, that's Ian Dudder now getting the mix. Ian Dudder earned his way into this race by winning the pole back at Eldora in duel number 2. Last year, Eldora was a 2 dual race. This year, it'll be 1 single race. 42 all over the 11, looking to make a pass, but the 11 standing still. There are no segments in this race. It is 1 dash for the cash, and the chance to come back here every single year. And that's the chance Amy Appleman has been given in today's race. Now Ian Dudda going to look high. Ian Dudda, that number 42 Powerade Dodge, getting a chance to run here, as GoDaddy will not be focusing its sponsorship on Troy Kang. Instead, GoDaddy will be sponsoring the number 7 which today is going to be driven by Austin Wilson. He's not doing too well right now. Austin Wilson earned his way in here by winning the pole and winning the race back at Road America last year. However, we aren't returning to Road America. Maybe that's why he is not going full-time this season. Maybe that's why. Right out front now, it's not Amy Appleman, my apologies, I'm going to get that wrong all night. That's Betty Johnson out front. Betty Johnson dominating a lot of Super Speedway tracks, just as she dominated back at Talladega last year, led every single lap from the front. Everybody shuffled out behind her, but nobody could eventually pass her. She's probably using the same strategy here tonight as Ian Dutta in the 21 Zaxby Chevrolet riding a bumper. And behind Dutta is Kev Shearer, one of 2 drivers in this field to be entered in this race off of 2 pole wins, as he's now going to look below, shovel the 21 out, and now going to catch the bumper of the 11 of Betty Johnson, as Betty Johnson's going to move back up high to support Ian Dutta. Like I was saying, Kev Shearer in the 17 in here off of 2 pole wins, 1 back at Orlando and Bristol. Neither track we are returning to for Season 2. As Anthony Rickey now getting into the mix in the 98, we'll talk about him in a second, but now it's Johnson and Kev Shearer up front, riding 1-2. Now Kev Shearer is going to look low with help from Ian Dutta. Yes, that is Ian Dutta, my apologies. And Kev Shearer is going to get the lead. Kev Shearer and that Arby's Ford, your leader here in the Gander Shootout, as now Ian Dutta is going to look low. Will Ian Dutta make a move as he's getting some speed? Where's Betty Johnson going to go? Anthony Rickey in the number 98 going to help out Rickey into this race because of his pole. He won back at Zenjoltis. Most people think he won the pole at Montreal. Technically, the pole was won by Jacob Crago, which, of course, the withdrawal and everything, the credit goes to Ray Takada, who's entered in this race tonight, driving the number 78. Right now, new leader out front. That's Ian Dutta in the number 21 Zaxby's car. There's Anthony Rickey in the 98, looking for a way through. Looking for the 21 to hopefully move up high here, as we're 3 wide at Daytona. No wrecks yet. The 20 of Captain Marvelous looks like it had an engine issue, but I believe there was no caution, as we are still racing green here today at Daytona. There may be some rain in the area, so maybe we'll look out for that. Some track conditions may cause things to get a little upsetting here today, here this evening at Daytona. But right now, Ian Dutta cleaning green out front, as Joshua Blackheart in the number 8 car, another full-time driver of the season, making a charge. Joshua Blackheart had a dismal season last year, didn't do well. Earned 1 pole back at Richmond, which ended up being won by James Qualls, who's also in this event near the rear right now, as he's in here off his Portland pole. But Joshua Blackheart now going to look low. What's ironic is, well, as Anthony Rickey now being shuffled out, Joshua Blackheart now looking low, with help from Don and Updike. Will he get a move here? Yes, he will. Joshua Blackheart down low. Joshua Blackheart, your new leader, in the number 8 Taco Bell Chevrolet. With help from Donovan Updike and Luis Hernandez in the 60. Like I was saying, what's interesting with a lot of drivers here, especially Joshua Blackheart, is the 3 drivers who weren't exactly that high in the standings, except for Donovan Updike, of course, with his 2 wins, but it still didn't put him up in even the top 15, that weren't exactly great drivers this season, are what's returning, and a lot of drivers who did great are not in this event, such as Henrietta Fitzwater, who didn't earn a pole or a win, and she won the championship off of extreme consistency. Look at Ian Siegel. He's not in with his consistency. Joshua Michaels had a great consistent season. He's not in. A lot of drivers that you'd expect to at least have a pole, as Yui Wakabayashi now making a charge of the inside. Looks like she's going to take the lead away from Joshua Blackheart in that Z-Line Designs Toyota. Like I said, Wakabayashi, another driver with an interesting season. I wouldn't call it amazing, but I wouldn't call it terrible either. Winning a race from the pole back at Phoenix. Never mind, Wakabayashi earned her pole at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Amy Appleman, who's driving the number 32 Dollar General Toyota, who we'll hopefully see up here at the front in a little while. That car was the pole sitter back at Phoenix, where Yui Wakabayashi earned her lone career win, and for now that'll be her only win, as it seems as if the Dollar General cars just sort of faded away along with the 78 Paul, so they're just sort of falling back making their own pack. Let's go. Yep, there's the 32 and there's the 70 on their lonesome before we get to the pack here. This main pack, and there's the 18 leading this race, and now the 4 is going to dip low. Will the 4 of Alex Hawkins get any help? The 35, Zachary Fitzwater to help. Hawkins in this race with his pole back at this very racetrack last year in the Drive for CBD 300. Hawkins was on pole, couldn't get it done with all the shifting, and now he's the race leader. Alex Hawkins out front. With help from Zachary Fitzwater, who had a great run in this track last year but couldn't get the job done, in the end getting beat out by the 77 Jackie Tang, who also did not want to pole last year, surprisingly enough. He will not be in this event, but he will be back to drive this Drive for CBD 300 in a few nights from now, as now we shuffled around, looks like the 11 is back, going to be looking for a chance to pass and take the lead back, as next time we hit the stripe we will be 5 to go here at Daytona. 11 has worked its way back, and now it's right on the bumper of the 4. There's the 13 again, up to Pengel Wilson, and will the 11 of Eddie Johnson get any help? Alex Hawkins leads the lap, but the draft of Troy Kang, looks like it'll push that number 11 Toyota Camry to the lead. Betty Johnson back out for Daytona. Troy Kang riding the draft hard. Troy Kang and Betty Johnson both each have one Super Speedway win. Wouldn't be surprising to see either go to victory lane here tonight. And what will be great is to see each of those drivers, even though they may not even be back for another season ever again, they'll be reoccurring here at this track in this race over and over again until the history of this race is eventually one day demised. But for right now, whoever wins this race, they get to come back and do it next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, as we are now 4 to go as we hit the stripe that time. Betty Johnson still leading. Betty Johnson earned her pole back at Talladega where she won, and so she is no stranger to super speedways, as she led every lap of that race, surprisingly enough. Troy Kang did not win his pole at a super speedway. He won his pole at Kentucky, which was one of his 2 wins. His other win, Zenjoltis, which will be home of our All-Star race this year, which Troy Kang will be competing in. So will Betty Johnson. So will a lot of drivers in this field. Austin Wilson, Haruka Takeda, Ian Dutta will be in that race. Kev Shearer as well will be in that race, as well as drivers we haven't seen so far today, as now Troy Kang's out front. As now Austin Wilson getting support. 3 to go, actually. Austin Wilson now getting some support. And that might just push him to the lead. Yes, it will. Austin Wilson, your new leader here today at Daytona. Haruka Takeda and the number 78 car getting a good run. We'll also see Haruka and Ian and Kev Shearer. We'll see Alex Hawkins. Yes, we will see him as well. We will not see Joshua Blackheart. We will see the Donovan Updike machine. We will also see Anthony Ricky. We will see Yui Wakabayashi in the 18. We will see a lot of drivers, and we'll see some others that we didn't get to see here today. We're going to see Ray Takeda returning to the track. That's one big name people are looking for. Is Ian Dutta looking inside? Looks like a lot of drivers are now going to pit. Very strange, as Austin Wilson keeping his lead for now. But that'll be coming up before our Zenjoltis race, which, if you want to be technical, that'll be following Oxford Plains, which will be after race number 9. Anyways, now Austin Wilson moving high. Ray Takeda getting 3-car support. Haruka Takeda, my bad. Haruka Takeda now to the lead in that number 78 Chevrolet. We are now 2 by 2 here today, as we'll hit the stripe, and the white flag will be in the air for whoever's leading this race, and it looks like it'll be Haruka Takeda when we hit the stripe. And these drivers might just pit, and that'll shuffle up the field if they so do. The question is, will they? The 11 will pit. That'll be the only car that does choose to come down. White flag in the air for Haruka Takeda. Will she hold on to it? Daytona is a very interesting track, known for its shakeups. Let's see if the shakeup will happen here, as these cars are all on their own right now. Everybody else has taken a pit stop. There have been no wrecks to this point, just pit stops. Except for the 20 who blew an engine. That's unfortunate. We'll check that replay a little bit. once this race is complete. But right now, there goes Troy Kang with help from Austin Wilson. Will Troy Kang make a move on the inside of Haruka Takada? He's under. Is he past? Yes, he is. The Powerade Dodge of number 42 is past the 78. Will the 7 make a move? It doesn't look like so now. Troy Kang, a two-time winner last season, won at Zenjoltis, now going to be a winner at Daytona. Troy Kang wins the Gander Shootout and gets the right to come back here next year. Great run by one race Steel driver Troy Kang. He will also return in that same number 42 Powerade Dodge at the All-Star race at Zenjoltis before our big American Airlines 300 race at Zenjoltis at race number 10. He'll be in that All-Star race, maybe looking for another win. Great one for Austin Wilson and Haruka Takada as well. Let's get our official finishing results from today's event. Troy Kang wins the event. Congratulations to him. Austin Wilson 2nd, Haruka Takada 3rd, Topanga Wilson 4th, Anthony Ricky 5th, Zachary Fitzwater 6th, Luis Hernandez 7th, Yubi Wakabayashi 8th, Betty Johnson 9th, Kev Shearer 10th, Ian Dutta 11th, Donovan Updike, our highest finishing full-time driver, finishes 12th, Joshua Blackheart 13th, Alex Hawkins 14th, looks like our full-time drivers finishes 12th, 13th, 14th, James Qualls 15th, Amy Appleman 16th, Captain Marvelous blew an engine. Let's see what happened to the 20 GameStop Toyota of Marvelous. Let's go in and let's back it up a little while. That is our... Ooh, looks like he blew an engine before the race even began. It smoked very early. Oh, he blew an engine coming off a pit road. That was the holdup. He blew an engine as soon as he fired his car. Look at that, folks. His engine wouldn't even give. This is a guy who had a starting malfunction very early on in this race. Let's see when we get the command here in a few seconds. Now the pace car is rolling off. There he is. And see that? That car would not fire. Engine is smoking, holding everybody up. That's what ended his day, folks. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Gander Shootout. We'll be back next season for this event, but right now, keep your eyes focused on the Drive for CBD 300 Race 1 as we open up Season 2 officially on the standings board. 20-race season will be coming up and will be started right here at Daytona in just a few days. Be sure to check that out. Congrats to Troy Kang for winning this event. We'll see him back here next year and at the All-Star race. But Joshua Blackheart, Alex Hawkins, and Donovan Updike, we will all see them in our Drive for CBD 300. We hope you'll tune into that race. If you want to see if you like this race and want to see more racing action, comment. Not necessarily keep your ride as Updike, Blackheart, and Hawkins. That's the only one that applies to, but you guys aren't required to start doing that until the Drive for CBD 300. And subscribe if you want to get all your DASCAR Gander Mountain National Series action. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.